Hey guys, today I want to take a look at a TV show episode that is actually very near and dear to my heart, and that is The Office, Season 6, Episode 12, Scott's Tots. Now, The Office is a very safe and likable show to watch for the most part. Most sitcom fans will say most likely they enjoy The Office, if not saying it's one of their favorites. It is just a very likable show, except for the last two seasons and Scott's Tots. Scott's Tots never really felt out of place to me when I first watched this show as a kid. For whatever reason, I actually love this episode. It's one of my favorites. I thought it was hilarious as a kid, from the dance routine to Michael offering the students batteries for laptops they don't even have. But now, as my 21-year-old self and about 12 rewatches later, I fully understand why people don't like this episode. This episode has a slightly different comedy style that kind of leans on cringe humor quite a bit more than the other episodes usually would. And the typically unaware of himself Michael is painfully aware of what he's actually done in this episode. And while it's usually Michael who's got the wrong idea about the situation, this time it's literally everyone else in the room except for Michael. Now, cringe humor isn't for everybody. It's the same reason that Nathan For You only sticks half the time I show it to people, which is a show I plan on making a full video on in the future. But for me, this type of humor sticks most of the time. There's some over-the-top moments in Nathan For You, but I think when it's dialed in, like in Scott's Tots or the private investigator episode of Nathan For You in Season 1, which I highly recommend watching if you haven't, but I think this humor is actually really funny to me if you can allow yourself to just be a bystander. You know, you're not those kids that got conned out of a college tuition by Michael. Most importantly, we aren't Michael. If you don't put yourself in their shoes and you take yourself out of the situation and you let yourself be a bystander, I find it's really funny. Or at least it is to me. Next, I want to talk about Aaron and Michael's relationship in this episode. And this is basically the episode that started it all off. This is a relationship that I really grew to love over the years. Michael's initial hesitation for a receptionist that isn't Pam, and Erin's initial determination to just be a good employee and to be good at her job. She wants Michael's approval in a way which really speaks to their father-daughter type relationship later seen in episodes like the Glee viewing party. You know, I think Erin really balances Michael out in this episode. She wasn't quite her cartoonish self that they'd evolve her character into. She was just this quirky, quiet girl who'd essentially never had anybody to look up to. And I think this episode is the groundwork for what would come for them. So I really enjoy just the small moments between them. Even though Michael is really bitter towards her in the beginning of the episode, I really love the moment towards the back end when Erin reminds Michael that, you know, all these kids are graduating because Michael promised them this tuition. Even though he lied to them, they are on the right track in life simply because of that lie Michael's told. It's not a good thing Michael did at all, but it did help these kids in a few ways to some degree, I guess. But lastly, I just want to quickly touch on the B plot, which is an awkward employee of the month storyline that just really goes nowhere at all and just shows Dwight failing to get Jim fired. I really don't enjoy this, so if you don't enjoy the Michael storyline, I totally get writing this episode off completely. But to me, the Michael storyline carries it enough for me that I can look past this boring Jim and Dwight B plot. So that's it. That's why Scott's Tots is one of my favorite Office episodes and probably always will be. Every time I rewatch it, I just think it's funnier. And yeah, so I just want to say, what's your favorite Office episode? If you stuck around this whole time, thank you very much for watching. A like, subscribe would go super far. I pretty much have one subscriber right now. But yeah, hope you have a great day.